All right, so here let's have a discussion on something we've discussed before, but it's coming to a head now. Seriously, like today and tomorrow, the NFL owners are meeting.
It's the final countdown.
I know. It feels like it. Yeah, they're going to vote. The Tush Push vote is coming in. 215-592-9494. All right, so
What?
Well, it's just, I'm melancholy.
Are you feeling some kind of way?
I am. My gut feeling.
What's that song Kyle like to play? I will. There it is. Good pull.
Kyle's ready to roll.
Hey, listen, man. Let that sink in for a minute before I say what I got to say.
Hear those words.
Yeah, it's a wrap. We're going to be all right, man. We are going to be okay. I'm optimistic. Okay, let me tell you what's going to happen today.
Let's hear it.
Y'all ready for this? The people out there listening? Yeah, they about to ban the Tush Push. Just want to put that out there and get y'all mind ready for it. They are about to ban the Tush Push. But damage has already been done. We have been in a situation, I don't know this for sure, I'm speculating.
Recklessly
speculating.
Here we go.
Coach Sirianni, Coach Bubblehead, new inked bread Bubblehead, has figured out a way. They knew this was coming, so they've gotten ahead of this. So everything's going to be fine, man. This is not the Eagles' identity. I think that a lot of people feel that way. I was listening to Frankie Louvu talk about it. Listen, and I'm a victim of this as well. If you're going to be, I'm pretty sure you should have known that you were probably going to be asked questions about the Tush Push because that's the hot topic.
Sure.
It don't hurt to do a little homework before you start talking. A little bit. I'm not trying to take shots at Frankie. I guess it kind of is. But the way you were trying to articulate why you think it's a bad play, don't use frame of references that you're not familiar with, like rugby. It's a rugby scrum. Because if I'm not taking shots, but if you've never been in a rugby scrum, how can you compare it to a rugby scrum?
Yeah, like a clip you've seen.
You can see there are certain things that happen that you can't. I just don't think it's fair to say that because I sat there with Jordan Mailata, who's played rugby, and when somebody said they compared it to a rugby scrum, he got upset. He got visually upset.
And he literally has played.
Exactly.
He knows.
He knows what a scrum is. I will tell you from my limited knowledge of rugby, because I did rugby. Before I did ESPN, I did some rugby stuff. Rugby is a lot harder physically than football as far as the endurance and the stamina that you have to play rugby.
Wait, you broadcasted rugby?
Yeah.
Oh, Kyle, we need to find that. We need to dig into the archives. Hugh Douglas broadcasting rugby is something we didn't know about.
Yeah, I did that. Listen, I've done a little bit of everything.
Kyle,
contact
the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. See if they have the tapes. I need to hear them.
See, Kyle, that's not fair because on radio, I get more of a chance to be myself. So right now, I can be my authentic self. And a lot of times when I'm my authentic self, I tend to stutter a little bit because there are certain thoughts that I have that I'm processing that in my stream of consciousness, I got to walk back because it might be bad.
Sorry, if I'm distracted, I'm searching YouTube for Hugh
BBC America?
Yes.
Gained the opportunity after a successful guest appearance during which he participated in taped segments where he tried to play the sport, interviewed zookeepers, and took Irish step dancing lessons.
Wait a second. How did you not tell us this stuff?
Listen, I hate that I told y'all now because now Kyle is doing what Kyle does. And he's trying to find fodder.
Everyone, be on the lookout. We're going to bring you some audio of Hugh Douglas's rugby time broadcast. All right, Hugh, continue. So you think it's over?
I think it's done.
Yeah,
I think it's done. I mean, because there's been a lot. There's been a lot of rewording, analyzing this and talking about this. And you know what? The thing that bothers me about all this is that everybody's trying to use the same narrative, but when they do it, and this is how I feel about everything. When somebody's lying, they stutter. They stutter quite a bit. They're because they're trying to formulate their thoughts while they're telling the lie.
Yeah, they're not being.
They're not being genuine. Yeah, they're trying to think it. They're trying to think it through as they go. And basically, that's what I heard from Frankie Louvu this morning.
So I heard the same thing. I also saw this. So the proposal has been rewritten here by the Green Bay Packers. 215-592-9494 to hop in. What's your gut feeling as the vote's about to come down? Is the tush push gone? Hugh Douglas believes it is. So the Packers rewrote the proposal. Remember a couple months ago when we did this, and I think it was Jim Harbaugh from the Chargers was like, maybe I'd vote yes, but it's a little worded weird. I don't really understand what they're changing. Well, now they've reworded this. So here is the proposal that they're going to vote on this week, the owners, okay? I'm reading exactly from a 2025 playing rule proposal number 5A, article number 4, assisting the runner in interlocking interference. No offensive player may push or pull a runner in any direction or lift him to his feet, use interlocking interference by grasping a teammate or using his hands or arms to encircle the body of a teammate, or assist the runner except by individually blocking opponents for him. And if this is done, they want it to be a penalty for assisting the runner, interlocking interference, or illegal use of hands, arms, or body by the offense, a loss of 10 yards. Basically, they're trying to go back to the rule the way it was 20 years ago. Here's my feeling on where we're at today. My gut feeling is it's gone. I think the tush push is as good as gone. I think the NFL for the last month has done everything they could behind the scenes to convince the votes they need to get. I mean, they know exactly who was voting one way and who was voting another way last month. They know it. And I think Roger Goodell did everything he could the last month to absolutely screw the Eagles and get this thing out of the NFL. When the commissioner wants it out, it's out. He's going to get the votes. I don't know if it's, hey, you vote my way and I'll help you down the line. I don't know how he does it. He's going to get the votes. I believe the tush push is going to be gone. Let's hear from Jeff Darlington, NFL Network, or excuse me, ESPN, talking about the tush push and what we might get when this vote does come down.
Well, here we are again. You mentioned the fact the owners are about to meet again. This time around, we do anticipate a vote. I was at the league meetings in Palm Beach about 6 weeks ago now when this was an intense discussion about whether they would ban the tush push. Green Bay put forward the proposal to potentially ban it, but I can tell you just from my discussions, I don't think that the league felt like they had enough of the vote to wind up banning this rule. So we'll find out in these meetings whether that will happen. Right now it feels 50-50. Let's say it is. The Eagles are the team right now that are kind of calling around, trying to see if they can find enough teams to make sure that this does not get banned. They don't want to see it happen. They'd essentially need to find 8 teams because it takes 24 teams to vote on something to get it banned. If the Eagles can find 8 teams to say that we're going to keep it, ultimately the tush push will stay in effect. Very important few days between these owners at the league meetings.
I love that the Eagles are lobbying. I love that they're calling around trying to get the votes.
You know what this is? It's like one of those situations where you know something bad is about to happen and you get the heads up and they say, hey, they out to get you. Mm-hmm. You better call some folks. So yeah. That's basically what that is.
Yeah, it is. All right, let's hear Kyle Brandt, NFL Network, on the tush push and what he believes is going to happen here.
Mark your calendar for Wednesday, May 21st. You're like, wow, that's soon. It's in 48 hours. Aye. Wednesday, May 21st is when I believe that the National Football League will ban the tush push. I think it's happening. The vote is coming in the next couple of days. The league meeting will go on. We'll have reporters, all that stuff. I think it's going to go. I really do. And I'm just reading the tea leaves. I don't quote sources. You guys know that's not my thing. I'm reading opinions. I'm reading anonymous opinions and on-record opinions from the league, from different owners and dignitaries around. I think this is it. And I think the Eagles will adapt and they'll run some version that, of course, goes by the rules. But this version we're seeing here right now, I think will go away.
All right, excuse me. I'm not laughing at the tush push being gone. Kyle did send me the video of you Irish step dancing. So now
I tracked you down.
I knew Kyle was doing that when he didn't have a whole lot to say. He was diligently looking on the internet.
This is good stuff, man. You should have told us about this a long time ago. All right, 215-592-9494. What's your gut feeling? The owners are meeting. The Eagles are lobbying for the votes. I think this thing is gone. I think Roger Goodell is going to get the votes he needs to ban the tush push, and the play is no more. Kyle, where do you come down as we are hours, maybe minutes away from a vote here? What do you think is going to happen? Gut feeling on the tush push.
So, I've been pretty strong this offseason about, I think they're just basically trying to screw the Eagles. Yep. Or, maybe not like screw the Eagles, but...
No, they're screwing them.
Yeah, sure. It's a way that they can just knock them down a peg after being Super Bowl champions. Mm-hmm. Easy way for them to do that. and the tabling of the discussion until May so that they could get enough votes definitely made me think that it was gone. I read the wording of the new rule yesterday. It kind of made me feel a little bit differently about it, and maybe I'm just in denial or I'm holding on to some sort of string of hope here. But the wording is not just about banning the tush push. It's about going back to the rule that they had changed in 2005. Right. And, I mean, there was a reason they changed from that rule to what we have now. Like, they found it, I think, difficult to officiate, and some of it was, I think they thought was a little subjective. Like, you're not allowed to aid any ball carrier whatsoever. That means not just the tush push being banned, but no more of those scrums that you see down the field when a runner's getting stopped by the first down marker or by the end zone. No more piles where you push them in. I don't know if everyone's going to be okay with going back to that rule. Like, that changes things, right? This isn't just about eliminating the tush push. Now this affects every team in the NFL.
It does. It feels like, now, you're right about that. It also feels like it's a way they could say they didn't ban the tush push, right?
And
they just changed the rule, and by that, you can't do the tush push.
And I wonder now if that's sort of what the Eagles, because we heard that they're calling teams and lobbying them to vote with them. I wonder if that's what they're doing. If they're going and saying, hey, like, this is no longer just about us and the tush push. This is going to change what a play looks like in the NFL in a lot of cases. Well, so, like, if I were them, that's what I would do. I think I gained a little bit more hope that it might be back for at least another season. Well, they really finalize what the language of this should be.
Well, I hope you're right, because I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, this whole thing has been a witch hunt by Roger Goodell. He just wants it out of the game. And I think it feels like a small thing. It's not to me. The season opening game is the Eagles hosting the season opener at home, here against the Cowboys. Roger Goodell looks ridiculous if he goes to all this degree to get this thing out of the NFL, and then it stays, and they run it 5 times against the Cowboys. He's going to get it out. He's going to, as much as the Eagles are lobbying for the vote, too, what concerns me is if Goodell wants this out of the game, Goodell's going to get it out of the game.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those things where this is the thing that I don't like about any of this. Is that they're baseless accusations about injury concerns, because the data has not proven that there is an injury concern doing this play.
Well, there's zero. I mean, there's been 0 injuries that are reported.
And this is why, you know, I was just talking about Frankie Louisville. I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about Coach, who was it? McDermott.
Yep, who's a hypocrite.
Coach McVay, and all those other coaches that sat there. And when you talked about injuries, because that was the guys that under which you tried to get it banned, you had no data. You had no talking points. And that's the thing that's irritating. It's almost like having a debate. If, like, we sit here and we talk every day, and me and you might be on different sides of things. And most times we have strong talking points for either way that we feel. Mm-hmm. This is one of those situations where there is no strong talking points against it. And when you talk about, and this is the thing that bothers me, you're talking about it from a rugby perspective when you have no rugby background. Somebody that has played the game, has a little bit more knowledge than you, or a lot more knowledge than you, however you want to spin it, is telling you that it's totally different than a rugby play.
It's become a crutch. Like, if someone that wants it out says, it's rugby.
It's a rugby play. What do you know about rugby? Okay, what can you tell me about
Not
a scrum?
As much as you, obviously.
Well, no,
you're the rugby expert
I'm
around
definitely
here.
Not a rugby expert.
I have a video in front of me with Irish step dancing. It tells me different.
Do you know the one thing I remember about rugby is how you're constantly moving. In football, you have 2 or 3 seconds where you set up the next play or whatever. In rugby, you're constantly moving the ball down the field.
Right.
That's a different set of things going on. And when you get in that scrum is not as easy as you think it is, because you've been think about it like this. You've been running all that time. Then you get in the scrum, and you're trying to pick up the ball and run, and your arms are around everybody.
Feels hard.
That's not the same. It's not, bruh. I'm trying to tell you. I was out there with some kids one time, Joe. They ran the hell out of me. And I was like, no, we good.
You can't do this. Wait, you got cooked by kids playing rugby?
Yeah. Because they were doing something where they were doing a weave, and, you know, where they hand the ball off or whatever. Yeah. And that's tiring. Like rugby's different. You're disrespecting rugby when you say football it's like rugby.
We get our hands on all these clips of you and
I'm working on the audio.
Okay, 215-592-9494. Are your gut feeling this morning? The tush push vote is finally coming down. They tabled it last month because Goodell, that weasel, didn't have enough votes, and now he's going to convince everyone to vote against the Eagles. Eagles are lobbying to try to not get this out of the game. The Packers rewrote the proposal, and now you can't do this anywhere on the field. There's no pushing to aid the ball carrier anywhere on the field. What's your gut feeling today as the tush push vote is about to come down? Mine and Hugh, we're on the same page with this. We think this thing's gone. I think it's as good as gone. My gut says they're going to ban the tush push by the guise of this new rule that they proposed. Kyle still got some hope back there. Holding out hope. This thing is not gone. Where do you guys come down?